Hey team, welcome back to another episode of the Jenn Commandments podcast. I am your host, Jenn Wien. I'm an engineer currently working in Wisconsin. I grew up in the Chicagoland area and I went to college in Michigan. Hey, how are y'all? Today is currently Monday. I'm supposed to be uploading this in T minus I don't know, 11 hours or something. And I will. I've um I've been really trying to stick to my commitments, and I know that that sounds silly, that obviously you should be doing that. But the commitment, what I mean is the commitments that I've been making to myself, like uploading podcasts, going on walks that I know will improve my mental health. The windows are open, and so Dante is getting to hear all the noises outside. And he is a schnauzer, and if you know anything about schnauzers, they are a yappy type, you know. So love that for him. He's been having a grand time, but we have T minus 11 hours. So it's, come on, get with the program. Quiet on set. Anywho, this past weekend, I went home. I went back to the motherland and I collaborated. I did my first interview for this, which I am so excited about. I was really, really nervous. Well, not my first interview. I interviewed my brother before as well, but this was my first in person with real microphone. He had a real microphone. I didn't at the time, but where we were just truly sitting together and having a conversation where it's video and audio, and it's not my family member, and I was really nervous. But I think it went really well. I am so lucky. There was another interview that I was going to do, and I think I think she could sense that by the time I had driven down Saturday, I was just not in the preppy, ready to podcast mood. And that's something that I need. I'm obviously still figuring out the logistics of interviewing, and if I want to do 2 interviews in a weekend, then I need to drive down Friday night so that I feel for real myself. Because I'm I have social battery, and I'm aware of the I used to push myself to my bounds. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna drive home, and then I'm gonna do dinner with these people, and then the next morning, and then I'm gonna hang out with my brother until midnight, and then the next morning I'm gonna do breakfast, and then I'm gonna do a late lunch with another person, and then maybe I'll go do drinks, whatever. I really maximize my time home, and I love doing that because I love seeing all my people, but I would really burn myself out doing that. And I'm glad that somebody advocated for me, even though, but once she gave that to me, I had the wherewithal to be oh, this would not be a good interview if I'm also not, if it's not 100% yes, then it should hold off, then it's no. So that was really cool, and really great and intuitive of both of us to pick up on, I thought. And that's exactly what I want from these conversations, is I don't know. It was a really, that was a fun moment. And then I literally just stayed in my little hotel room in a town that I had been going to my whole life. And I just sat and I watched Legally Blonde, and I enjoyed my little staycation, and Dante and I had so much fun. And yeah, I don't know. I had that like this thought while I was there of like, damn, Dante really just comes everywhere with me. Like that's my little friend. He really just like exists with me. And it's weird when we're not together. Like I have a international trip this summer. I'm going to Malaysia. I'm really excited. And he's not coming with to that, obviously. But even thinking about that, I'm like, I considered trying to figure, and I was like, girl, don't be crazy. It's just like he's tiny. It's easy. He schnauzers also have like a specific person, and they're sort of anxious outside of that specific person, and so it's just sort of easier for him to he warms up to other people, but it takes him like sometimes like 2 or 3 days, which is like dramatic, but he's shy. He's just really he's a shy boy. He has a big personality in like videos, but he's at home with me. If he just sees you and you're new, like it takes him a little bit, which is super cute, but um sort of hard for like existing. Yeah. I turned him into that though. It's my own doing. Anywho, so what else did I have? Oh, it's been beautiful outside. Hello. I've been going on my little hot girl walks. I'm considering I don't want to even say it on here. Never mind. I'm not fucking saying it because I'm not holding myself. I'm not putting the pressure on myself right now. That does more damage than good. So, um, I've been getting into the habit of doing my hot girl walks. I did it once in the morning and I really, really liked that. That helped me be focused at work. And I had been really slow at work and now it's starting to pick up again and I'm slow. I'm like rusty to get back on the like tracks or whatever. So I really need to get my shit together and I am. Y'all, Ariana announced the deluxe for Eternal Sunshine. I am so excited. Oh my god. God, I love that album. That's one of my favorite albums of last year. Oh, that album means so much to me. It's helped me substantially during the last year of my life. I don't know. I'm so excited. And I, as both like an Ariana fan and a Mac Miller fan, yeah, I'm happy for the both of them. Uh, Obviously, I'm happy that she's moving forward with her life because she deserves that. Obviously, happy for Mac is like a crazy thing to say. I mean like I don't know. I have such a respect for him that it's hard for me to even talk. That's why I haven't done an episode about him yet because I don't know how to I don't even know how to like discuss it in a way without being like overly emotional of like swimming helped me during some of like the darkest times of my life. And yeah, it's hard for me to even talk about. And also, I just like Good AM is so good. Divine Feminine is my one of my favorite albums of all time. Yeah. So it's as a fan of both of them, the Eternal Sunshine into Brighter Days as being the deluxe is very exciting for her as it relates to where she is on her growth and healing journey. I know a lot of that is parasocial, but like based on what I perceive from her music, I'm happy for her, you know. So that's really exciting. I'm really happy for her. I will be streaming Eternal Sunshine Brighter Days. Oh my goodness. This weekend was great. I feel the most inspired that I've felt in a while, just from like having some time to rot in a king size bed. That's like the best feeling. Is like you're laying in this king size bed and you're just like, you have like the air conditioning on, you're watching Legally Blonde on network television, and you're like, life is good. I was eating gummy worms and Hooters. Oh my God, y'all. One of my New Year's resolutions was to not get food delivery service, but I did Uber Eats Hooters to my hotel room. I did do that. And I'll be quite honest, I don't really regret it. And I'm okay as long as it's not fast food and at my apartment, you know? Hey, Bubby. So, yeah, felt really good about the weekend. However, this weekend brought up a little bit of reflection of, oh, I've stopped talking to a lot of my childhood ties in the last year and a half. And I've created other hometown, like I'm not I don't mean it as it relates to just like hometown people. I mean it as it relates to people who I used to really find kinship with in my childhood. And of course, it's a little heartbreaking. And it's something that I haven't super coped with. But I also think that might just be life. I think that sometimes relationships change, and it was really nice and refreshing. I really appreciate talking to people who are slightly younger than me. I think it brings new perspective to my world, and I really appreciate that. I think that's important. And if you don't have that, then you'll continue cycles, So I want to continue to always be hearing perspectives of those who are younger than me. And I got to do that this weekend. And so I'm inspired a little bit, and like I'm trying to I sort of realized while talking to Carly this weekend that I've equated love to idolization, I think, a lot of my life. And so I figured that and I think that that's because and I don't know if this is society's training. I don't know if this is just like my lived experience. I don't know why or how I came to this conclusion. Me and my therapist are going to talk about it this week. But I'm thinking that based on my lived experiences, that's what I learned, is that like how to receive love is to idolize the recipient, my object of affection, whether that be platonic or romantic, right? And what that means to me is I'm expecting that person to be somebody of idolization stature, which is asking them to be perfect in a lot of ways, and which isn't fair to the object of my affection. And then also I'm lying to myself because I'm like, this person is worthy of idolization, although they are just a mere human as I am, So, so I think I'm asking them to not only lie to themselves about me, because I expect that, because I'm doing that to them, I expect them to do it to me to some extent, right? And I think that that's unfair. And I don't, some examples of that I would say is like, I don't know, expecting them to know what you want without communicating that to them. That's not very human. There are like, that's like a, obviously like a cookie cutter example, but there are things that you can evaluate about what you expect from relationships and be like, I don't know, is that reasonable? And if it is, can I provide that? Like those sort of conversations. We talked about that a little bit last week, but I don't know. It was a nice conversation to have with her, and I am really glad that um we got the opportunity to do that. It was really fun. It was really cool. I'm so grateful. And yeah, yeah, it was perfect. I'm very grateful. So, yeah, that's that's one thing I've been thinking about. um, oh my God. So I rebought a Netflix account so that I could watch Shirley last month, which was sort of perfect because it was like the perfect timeline to get all of Love is Blind, which I love Love is Blind. And so I got to watch the season, and a lot of people bitched about it, but I thought it was really, really good. And the reason why I think it's really good is I think it's really representative of how a lot of heteronormative dating is right now. Where like there are like beautiful, thought-provoking women who are looking for men of equal stature, and not just like financially. Certainly, yes, you do want to be equal in those ways that matter to you, whatever that may be. But critical thinking, that these women were looking for men who had more to offer them than just generally being a decent guy, because all of those men weren't. Some of them were terrible, but some of them you couldn't argue that they were like generally bad per se, but like they certainly weren't good. And at best they were mediocre, and at worst they were like liars, cheaters, manipulators, so that's a little unfortunate. um but I that's the luck of the draw right now in that heteronormative dating game. So um yeah, I really, really loved the season. I thought that um Whitney was one of my favorites in the reunion. I had sort of preemptively judged her. She made the right decision at the end of the day, but I think that I have just been Whitney so many times that I was like, girl, stand up. And she did. And she did when it mattered, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. And she really showed up to the reunion and popped her shit. I was so proud of her. I think that a lot of people like to demonize reality TV, because it is a study of the way people act. And I think that oftentimes men are the people who look bad in these situations. And I think that's sort of why they wanted to ban TikTok too, was like we were having conversations that they don't want us to be having. We've talked about this on the pod before, but I think that that's the demonization of gossip too. There everything that women have done to historically like protect themselves, and like, so that's communicating whatever about their experiences. have been demonized, like, so gossiping, whatever. So if you like it, that's not to say that, like, if you just don't like reality TV, that's okay. But like, that's another one of those things where I'm like, if you really resent it, I'm like, um, ugh, who am I to judge? Um, so that's that. With that being said, um, I another example of, like, that I think about now more as an adult. I still watch Jersey Shore, like, an embarrassing. Jersey Shore is one of my comfort shows, and if that gives you any indication of like what my resting fight or flight sits at, where like Jersey Shore is the thing that brings me comfort, like, let that be an indicator. So Jersey Shore, I've watched the OG Jersey Shore an embarrassing amount of time. It is actually one of the few things that can get me to focus sometimes. Like, if I really can't focus on at work, or like if I really want to clean, I want to lock into cleaning, I'll put on Jersey Shore and like literally immediately I'm locked in. I think it's because I know it so well that my brain is like, okay, there's enough stimulation happening where you can really focus on this one thing now. And so yeah, love Jersey Shore. But what I wanted to talk about, what I really think about a lot as an adult, is we witnessed domestic violence and like bar violence. We witnessed a lot of really important things in Jersey Shore. I think Jersey Shore uncovered a lot of things. I know that it was just like a silly show that people still clown, and like, it is a cult classic. Like, people will talk about Jersey Shore forever, in my opinion. It was just like such a camp, iconic show. But anyway, I think it really uncovered some things about the world that maybe you don't see very often on TV, and specifically not reality TV. Um like Sammy and Ron's relationship, for example, that's the thing that I think about all the time. I've been watching Jersey Shore all day because I've been trying to lock in to work, but um it's Paulie said something that was like, I've never seen people fight like that. And for some people, that was very normal. And it was normal enough at the time. This was early 2000s. It was, or late 2000s, early 2010s or something, maybe. I don't remember exactly. I think I snuck watching it in my room. I used to have a Princess TV. So cute. And I miss it now. I wish I still had it. I like regret giving it away. Um, uh, Anywho, I would sneak watching that in my room every Thursday night, and it's just so interesting to me because I don't know if you could show something like that on television now in a like non Jerry Springer-esque way. And I guess Jersey Shore was showing it in a Jerry Springer-esque way, but it wasn't, though. Like, very often the cast members and like production and the edits were on Ronnie's side, and sort of painted Sammy out to be this like pot stir. And like, to be fair, when you are that insecure that like you will, I have been in that situation. And like, when the whole world is telling you to leave and you just won't listen, I'm sure it is so incredibly frustrating to every other person in who's watching it unfold. But like, when you're in it, it's so it's addictive. Like that trauma cycle or that pattern of whatever is addictive in a weird sort of way. You need that validation. You crave that validation so much of like, well, it's so bad if you get like a crumb of affection or if you get like a crumb of goodness, that'll make you last. I saw like a TikTok or something that's like, you would give me an inch and I would turn it into miles or whatever, you know. I think that's really interesting, and it's unfortunate. I haven't watched like the most updated family vacations. I've never had like a service that had the updated episodes, that like the most recent ones. And so I haven't seen the episodes where Sammy comes back yet. I would like to know if production gives her an apology, if like everyone on the cast gives her an apology of like, you were literally getting abused and we tried to intervene, and I know that it's like not our job to intervene, but like you guys actively talk shit about me in those. Like, I just hope that everyone gave her proper apologies, you know, like, and I know that maybe she shouldn't need those, but it's watching that shit back is hard. It does give me an immense amount of comfort, and they all continue to do family vacation. So I feel like it's not so traumatizing to them that um they won't even revisit, because iCarly used to be one of my comfort shows too, and I can't watch that anymore because I just know it. Jenna McCurdy's character was my favorite character, and to know to the extent that she was suffering during those times, it's hard for me to stomach now, you know. um And if you haven't listened to her audiobook or read her book, I highly, highly suggest it. Um it was really eye-opening, and it was really well documented and very vulnerable and beautiful. So yeah, I really, really I would go listen to it. You could read it, but she does the audio version, and wow, she does such an excellent job, and yeah, you should go watch it or listen to it. My apologies. Yeah, that Love Is Blind was cool. Who else? Whitney. Oh, also Sarah. Sarah was a queen. Sarah was a queen. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Let's move on. I guess I can continue to talk about like my kinship losing, what I've sort of been coping with and figuring out. Okay, I've been doing some soul searching a little bit of what do I want this person, or this person back into my life, because they are very impactful for me, but it means that I have to face a lot of the hurt and animosity that I may have towards those people. And trying to figure out and navigate like, hey, am I ready for all that? Is like, it's a little weird, and obviously it's a little difficult on top of trying to make a name for yourself, on top of working in your career, on top of whatever else you have going on. And I don't know, I've been taking that time to really evaluate my relationships with people, but I've also been trying to focus most on me. And so right now, what's been taking precedence is me doing my little staycations and me interviewing people for the pod and me doing that. I've done, this whole weekend was dedicated to the pod. Right now it's dedicated to the pod. I think I'll be able to take a break for like the next couple weeks, But it's been really fun to explore that stuff. I know I've been saying that for like every week, but really go and explore your hobbies. And Carly brought that up a lot as well. This might be just like a debrief of that too, like a sneak peek of what's going to come next week. But we discuss our hobbies and how important it is to find what you love to do outside of work and what you love to do outside of self-care, because those are hobbies, but those are also just things that you do to take care of yourself. So what do you do to foster that creative gene? What do you do to foster those things that make you feel alive and useful to the world, if that's something that you desire, and chasing those things. Also, Jeff Wittick came out with the first episode of his documentary outlining all of the medical work that he's had to get done as a result of David Dobrik's misuse. And I don't know even the right word would be. He was operating a crane for one of his videos during COVID, like his big comeback video, and was swinging Jeff Wittick around on it and did it in a very, very unsafe fashion. And Jeff, like, not only fell off the crane, like swinging mechanism, but also like fell into the like crane. It's terrifying to watch. Um if you have a weak stomach, the first episode was a little hard to watch, but that's the point. It's supposed to be uncomfortable, and I am so very proud of Jeff for, I don't know, sticking it to the big man, he's having his David and Goliath situation, and I really hope that he comes out on top on it. Um and that's, like YouTuber stuff and maybe seems a little beyond. um I think it's all important. I think pop culture is important, and um yeah, I all crime is icky. He gets a lot of criticism from like comedians and all sorts of things. I'm really locked into like the Trisha universe and the Jeff Wittick universe and the Tana Mojo universe. I'm really locked into like that trifecta. And David Dobrik's like a terrible guy, dude. So I hope he gets everything that's fucking he deserves, Um, and I hope Jeff's the one that makes it happen. I'm really, really happy for him. So, go watch that if you haven't already. Yeah, like I said, it's a little hard to watch. There's medical shit going on in it, but close your eyes. Close your eyes and come back, if you think you can handle it. So that's a 2-part documentary, and the next one, the second part hasn't come out yet. But God, his editors, the Bathroom Boys, they did a great job too. I'm a fan. I like a Jeff FM. It's my case study of like what are the straights doing. I don't really interact with straight men in my day-to-day life very often. And I feel like Jeff Wittick is my little litmus test to see what's going on in the straight universe, you know. Which is cool, man. It's a little hard to listen to sometimes, but I'll do it. You know, I'm sure he feel the same way about this. So, yeah, I'd rather end it when I don't have anything to talk about than make you listen to me mumble rap for another 15 minutes, So I think that's it. Okay. Bye. Love you.